The society that we live in has this expectation that we seem to get pulled into in this Western world where we're constantly expected to flow. And that's not life. I mean, that's not life with yoga or Ayurveda.
Yeah.
There's a very natural ebb and there's a very natural flow. And in finding balance within my own solar plexus, it's me giving myself permission to ebb, to say, you know what, at the moment I'm not flowing. At the moment I'm not going to be able to commit to this workshop or this course or to anyone, even in my personal life, because I need to go inside and I need to regenerate. And it's almost like it took me years to be able to give myself permission to do that. And as you know, with a balanced solar plexus, we have a good understanding of our own energy. We're not going to be overcommitting and then suddenly saying no because we couldn't fulfill our obligation or our promise. We're really comfortable with saying no. And that's really, really important.
I have to say that's where I struggle in terms of solar plexus balance. I tend to overcommit. So I've really had to learn not to do that. And one thing I'd add to that is that the Wise Earth School of Ayurveda, which is the school of Ayurveda that I have learnt from, really emphasises a focus on the natural rhythms of nature and the seasons. And if you stay in touch with the seasons, which we're lucky, we live in Sydney, it's a city, but it's a beach city, it's a city surrounded by nature, so we are naturally still very connected to nature. A lot of people that live in urban environments, there's a strong disconnect. If you manage to stay in touch with the seasons and the cycles of nature, they'll automatically give you times of action and dynamic energy and times of rest and reflection.
Absolutely. And when we're excessive in this chakra, we're prone to either being that person or attracting someone who is either very domineering or aggressive. How do these qualities show up in your life and how do you deal with them?
I'm lucky, you know, because, and I'm not in any way saying I have a perfect relationship with my husband, because I certainly don't, but we have a good relationship after many years of working really hard to be in that place. And one of the ways in which it works is that I am very busy, both in my head and in my life, and ambitious and out in the world. And my husband, if we go back to Ayurveda, which links in beautifully with the chakra system, he's a big kapha, you know, he's slow, steady. I'm the hare that's running around in circles. He's the tortoise that wins the race. He just gets the job done in a very methodical, steady, mechanical, he's a mechanic, I mean that's how his brain works, way. So he's actually been, I mean it's a cliche, but he's the rock really. And I'm much more grounded now because we have so many children, but I tend to, he provides an anchor, and I do wonder if he hadn't been the person I'd had children with, it would have been a very different story, I think. You know, and that would have, I'm sure, had its blessings, but I'm grateful that I'm with someone that's been actually a very grounding energy in my life. And I think it goes back to what we were talking about satsang before, the people that you choose in your life, and particularly your partners. Ideally, you'll balance each other out. And, you know, so for Paul, I'm there occasionally pulling him out of his comfort zone, you know, encouraging him not to be stuck, not to be too predictable, because that's not good either.
It's true. And I mean, in circumstances where someone doesn't have a partner to bounce off or to balance a relationship, it's something that we have to find within ourselves. In our society, we're not taught that there's a lot of medicine. I mean, I had an algebra teacher or a tutor because I couldn't get maths, but I was never taught that what I feel has medicine, especially if it's uncomfortable, like if I feel jealous or if I feel angry, which, as you know, are emotions that are part of the solar plexus chakra. And there's a lot of medicine in that. And when anger would be projected onto me, it was a very uncomfortable situation. So I became very uncomfortable.
Excuse me.
Bless you. I became very uncomfortable with my own anger. Yet when I realized that it wasn't, I say this to my clients as well, you don't just get angry, you're often ignoring the little irrits along the way, and then of course anger tends to erupt and evolve, and it seems like it's very disconnected and it seems like it came out of nowhere. But I think that part of the balance is not allowing it to get to that stage where it's so consuming and out of control that I don't feel like I can handle it or I can control it. Yeah.
And, you know, that anger gets channeled in different ways. I mean, I see a lot of it in the activism world, in the animal rights world, where people under the guise of doing something good for the animals or for the environment, are basically just using it as a platform to express a lot of anger. And that's not a skillful way of creating change in the world. So, yeah, definitely there's work to be done.